Guys, I'll give you guys a minute here to get on. I know my live always starts recording me when I don't think it's going because I don't see you guys pop on for just a minute or two. So I'll give you guys a minute to get on here. Just giving you guys a minute to get on here and then I'll go ahead and get started. And tonight I'm just going to answer um, some pretty common questions I've had probably over the past 2 weeks. And so we'll cover that. And then I just had a few announcements too. So we'll get started here. So first of all, next Monday night, we will be doing a live call with Beth Hayes. She's my functional doctor, and she's a practitioner at A Balanced Life in Morton. And Beth's offered to come on and answer any medical questions that are keto related, which is huge because that you're getting a lot of free medical advice, and Beth is very intelligent. So next Monday night, we will be doing the live call with Beth. And if you guys want to email me or post your questions ahead of time, that'll give us a little bit more time to prepare so that we can answer more questions next week. So if you have a medical question or any sort of question, actually, just post it or send me an email or a message even, and we'll get that answered for you next Monday. And I did want to know, I talked to Beth about a few things that I've been receiving, some of the questions I've been receiving that I feel were a little more medical oriented. And she did want me to tell you guys, so some of you guys that are doing the keto diet are diabetic. And I think this pretty much pertains to type 2 diabetics, not type 1. But if you are diabetic and you're doing the keto diet and you notice that your blood sugar is lowering naturally because of the diet, you would want to consult with your doctor about your medications because some diabetic medications lower your blood sugar for you. And if you're naturally lowering your blood sugar due to the keto diet and you're taking a medication, your blood sugar could drop too low. And you would definitely experience side effects from that. So if you're type 2 diabetic and you take diabetic medication and you're doing the keto diet, stay in touch with your doctor because they'll probably want to lower your meds or cut them in half, but don't take my advice on that. Talk to your doctor. And then for those of you guys just getting on, what I was just talking about is next Monday night, we're going to do the live call with Beth Hayes. She's the practitioner that I see at A Balanced Life in Morton, and she will get on here to answer medical questions. And you guys can post any question you want. Send me a message, send me an email, or post it in the group, and we'll get that answered for you next Monday. So that's a great way to experience a functional medicine doctor if you don't already see one. And I'm looking forward to that call. It's going to be fun. And let's see here. So I think those are the only two announcements I had is next Monday, we're going to have Beth on. And if you're type 2 diabetic, talk to your doctor. So this week, ironically, I received a lot of messages and emails about people experiencing like flushed face, flushed neck, just redness and heat in the face. And I've personally never experienced that on the keto diet. And so I did talk to Beth about it, and she said that that's totally normal. That's a side effect from a dietary change. And that can actually happen with any dietary change, not just the keto diet. That could happen if you did a food allergy test and you started to remove different foods from your diet that you're sensitive to. You could experience that skin reaction. So that's totally normal, totally common, and it's not dangerous. It'll resolve on its own. I know it's probably uncomfortable for a while here, but that will subside on its own. That's just your body getting used to the new nutrients that you've added to your diet, taking away the carbs and any of the poor quality foods that you're used to putting in your body. So that's what the skin and the flushed face, that's just a side effect of changing your diet. Let's see here. And then and the other thing is a lot of people are starting to experience the keto flu, which is very common. And now would be about the time, I think. So we've been doing this about 4 weeks now, and I think most people got started about 2 weeks ago to 10 days ago is when they probably really started to get into ketosis. And so I've been answering a lot of questions the past week and a half about keto flu symptoms. So I did cover this in module 1, but I can go back over it real quickly here. If you're experiencing keto flu symptoms, which would be like headache, brain fog, fatigue, nausea, that's a big one, nausea, any sort of muscle cramping, anything that's, keto fatigue relate or sorry, keto flu related, there's two things or three things you'd really want to be doing. You definitely want to be drinking plenty of water because, like we discussed in module one, when your body's adapting to ketosis, your different hormones are changing in your body. And so the hormone that helps your body hold on to fluid is dropping. So you're naturally not holding on to as much fluid as you were before. And you're going to be losing a lot of water weight, and you need to replace that water that you're losing. So you want to just drink a ton of water, stay super hydrated. And this is also just a great opportunity if you're not naturally a water drinker. It's a great opportunity to just really get a lot of fluid into your diet. The second thing you want to do is you want to just make sure that you're consuming a lot of electrolytes. And I like to track the electrolytes in the Chronometer app. You can use any app that you're, already using. I think you can adjust your micronutrients, which would be the ones you'd want to be adjusting are potassium, sodium, and magnesium. So you want to be tracking, and I have the ranges that you want to try to be hitting if you're experiencing keto flu symptoms in the download from module one. So go back and look at that. And you can drink, as far as electrolytes, bone broth is perfectly fine. There's a lot of minerals and nutrients in bone broth. You can make your own. I would recommend making your own. It's the cheapest, and you know what you're putting in it, so you know the quality of it. Um, you could make, I have a Pinterest board that I shared in the, I think it's in the module one download, and I also posted a link in this group. So you could make your own. I do one that I add cream of tartar and salt and just a little like lemon juice or something to flavor it. You could do, I like the packets like I've recommended. There's one called Element, which is LMNT. Get those on Amazon. And then there's the other one I have that's called Ultima. You could do this, the little packets of electrolytes that you put into a bottle of water, shake it up and drink it. Um, let's see. I mean, there's a bunch of different ways. Don't do Gatorade or anything that's like claims to be an electrolyte replacer because those are full of sugar. Even the low, like the zero, I don't know what's called Gatorade Zero or something like that. Those still have artificial sweeteners in them, and those will still spike your insulin levels. So you want to stay away from Gatorade or Powerade or any of those electrolyte replacers. But you could definitely do the little packets or bone broth, or definitely check out the Pinterest board. And then the second thing, or the third thing, if you're experiencing keto flu, is just make sure you have enough fat in your diet because you could also be kind of hungry and you don't feel hungry, but your body's just needing some more calories. So make sure you're including the amount of fat that you're supposed to be eating, or you don't, like I said, you don't have to hit that high end of the macro ratio, but you definitely want to make sure you're getting the fats in because I know when you're getting started with keto and you're switching over, you're not hungry sometimes. But if you're not eating enough fat, that could elevate the keto flu symptoms. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to post them. I'll answer them as I go. But I think a lot of you guys are starting to get into ketosis and you're starting to hit the keto flu. So if you're having a weird symptom, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be the keto flu. I'm just checking my notes here. So I covered the people experiencing the flush and the keto flu. And then I just posted real quick here, I'm going to look at this question here a few seconds or a few minutes ago, if anyone had any questions that you wanted me to cover. And so Jamie posted that she was wanting me to discuss why she's eating keto, but sometimes she'll hit a plateau. After a cheat meal, she'll drop a pound. But sometimes a cheat meal will make her feel bloated or retain water, sometimes giving her an upset stomach. And then other cheat meals are super helpful for her mindset and her plateau. So she was wanting me to explain how to use food for fuel and listen to her body. So there's a couple different things going on here. As far as the plateau and then eating a cheat meal, what I think is probably happening, it's something called metabolic adaptation. And so Jamie's been eating at a certain calorie level for a while, and our bodies are designed, our metabolisms are designed to be as efficient as possible. So once she's been eating at that level for a while, she's probably not going to lose the amount of weight that she's hoping to. And she said she was eating about 1,200 to 1,500 calories a day. That 1,500 number is good, but I think 1,200 might be a little bit low. And so your body, Jamie, might just be holding on to everything it can because it needs more calories. So I would first of all recommend it's called a reverse diet. So when you're at a lower end, and this is something that's going to be way too long of a topic to cover fully tonight. So I'll give you the brief overview and then go ahead and research this or send me a message and we can talk about it some more. But when you're at a low, when you're eating a low calorie range, you're going to want to do something called a reverse diet where you're slowly adding back like 50 or sorry 20 to 50 calories a day, and you want to slowly stair step your calorie intake every day until you hit a level where you're starting to see either weight loss or maintenance depending on what your goals are. So my guess for you, Jamie, would be, without seeing like food logs or know all the details, my guess would be that you're in metabolic adaptation where your body is efficient now. It's efficiently functioning on the amount of calories that you're giving it, and you need to give it some more calories. To I think the 1200 is a little bit too low, and I think that you want to give it some more calories so that it can kind of stir things up a little bit. And if you I hope that answers your question. If not, let me know. But I think that's what's going on as far as the plateau, and that's something we're going to cover in the later, like the last, I think it's the last module actually, is overcoming plateaus, because that's pretty common with people that are dieting. Is you're going to hit a plateau and you're going to need to know what steps you can take to bust through that. And then as far as reacting to different foods during your cheat meal, Jamie, what kind of foods are you eating at those cheat meals? Because just off the top of my head, what I would say is they're either inflammatory foods, like if there's a lot of dairy involved or any sort of gluten, or sometimes soy could be a problem for people too. So if those foods that you're eating are inflammatory foods and you haven't had them in a while, your body's natural response will be to puff up. It will be to the nausea, the upset stomach. And when you're eating those foods, you're probably retaining water, and that's why you're not seeing a weight loss or you're seeing a weight gain. So that would be probably what's going on with your cheat meals. So um, I mean, I'm totally on board with the 80-20 rule, especially when you're so close to your goal like Jamie is. And the other thing to keep in mind is just understanding that like the quality of food is still going to affect you regardless of if you're doing a keto diet or not. So I think that's probably what's going on for Jamie. And like I've told you guys a few times, you guys will post questions and comments, and I don't get them for a while after. So if I don't answer them right away, that's what's going on. And then Deb Gerber, she wanted some menu ideas. And I think I've told you guys this, I'm just not that good at menus because I don't use them. So, what I would recommend, Deb, is what kind of foods do you naturally eat? Like, what are you already preparing? And then see if there's a way to eat those foods in a healthy way and a low carb way. So, like I said, for me, tacos is a big one for us. We do tacos every week. And in the past, I would make my taco on a corn shell. Now, pretty much everything else in the taco is going to be keto: the meat, the cheese, sour cream, a little bit of pico on top. But instead, I now eat it on a salad. So there's usually a way to take whatever it is that you're eating and find a way to make it low carb or make it a healthier version. I think that's going to be the most sustainable way, is to instead of trying to introduce a whole bunch of new recipes and a whole different way of eating, slowly try to change what you're already eating to be healthier. So make it with real foods if you can, and make the recipes just a low carb version of something that you already like. So if that helps, let me know. And then I think the last question here, how to combat hair thinning or your hair falling out, and then thoughts on collagen supplements. So as far as hair thinning and hair fall, there's a lot of different medical reasons for that. I've experienced them myself. I don't have a thyroid and I have Hashimoto's autoimmune disease. So that's a huge, huge way to lose your hair. So first of all, I guess I would need to know, like, are you being treated for any autoimmune diseases? Because that is typically a side effect of low thyroid or Hashimoto's, which is the autoimmune disease that affects your thyroid. And then when it affects your thyroid, you automatically become hypothyroid, or you can kind of go up and down when you have Hashimoto's. You can be too high, too low, too high, too low. And so the thyroid would be a huge one. Adrenal fatigue is a big one. So if you've had your adrenals tested, I've been in adrenal fatigue for a while, just based on like everyday life stressors and then having some more traumatic type things happening. So adrenal fatigue is another, I don't know if you call it a disease, I guess, but another thing that can cause hair loss. So a lot of that also stems from stress. So if you have a lot of stress in your life, you'll notice like the first thing to go is your hair. And so I guess I would need to know a little bit more, maybe as far as like the health related aspects of things, because there's a lot of ways that you could be, or a lot of reasons for losing your hair. And then as far as a collagen supplement, yes, I take one. It's called, I use either Vital Proteins or, oh geez, I can't think of what it's called. And I use it all the time. It's in a green bottle, Great Lakes. I think it's called Great Lakes. Those are excellent. So when I do use a collagen supplement, I don't count that as my protein intake. I don't count it towards my protein macro because a collagen supplement isn't a complete protein. But collagen is great for boosting your hair and nails, skin, your joints, your digestive system. There's a lot of different benefits to collagen. So yes, I would recommend a collagen supplement for anyone, whether you're losing hair or not. It's a great anti-aging tool. There's so many health benefits. It helps you sleep better. Um, yeah, but as far as the hair loss, that's probably could potentially be tied to something else, something more along the lines of some, a health issue. And that might actually be a good question for Beth next week too. But my personal experience would be an autoimmune disease or adrenal fatigue or stress. Okay, I'm just gonna read through your comments here. Jamie says, let's see, a couple pounds of your goal weight, Jamie. That's awesome. Keto makes her feel 1,000% better. Totally agree. And it helps with focus. Yes. So cheat meals are cravings that I miss and are not keto, and they're often dairy. Yeah. Dairy's the the demon sometimes as far as I know if I ever have ice cream, I immediately bloat and my stomach hurts so bad. So I think that it's probably just an inflammatory food for you, and you get to decide if you want to still have the cheat meals or if you want to I don't know. It's whatever's sustainable for you, but my guess would be that that's what's going on with the bloating and everything. And then if anyone else has any other questions, let me know. I will be getting module 3 out to you guys later tonight. And in module 3, we're talking about the 4 pillars of a healthy lifestyle. And this is hopefully just setting you guys up for long-term success with your health. So the 4 pillars, real quick, are nutrition, or macros is what I'll call them. And we've been covering macros now for a month. So that this in module 3 isn't going to be super long. These are just going to be little chunks of information for you guys to reference, but macros and movement. So we're going to talk about exercise. And then I do have an exciting video that'll come out, I think, Thursday for you guys. I've teamed up with another health coach friend. Her name's Molly Flutter. She lives in Morton, and she has an awesome fitness app that you can do at home. And so all of her workouts are, you can use weights or you can use resistant bands or you can just use body weight, but everything is home based, or you can adapt it to the gym as well. But I like it because now that it's getting colder out and we might not feel like getting out to the gym, or we don't know what's going to happen with COVID's going to shut things down again, this app will have already program all the workouts for you and help you guys stay consistent with movement. So okay, so that's, sorry, I get off track here. Macros, movement, sleep. Sleep is huge. Sleep could potentially be the number one thing derailing your results if you're not getting enough sleep and if you're not getting enough quality sleep. So we're going to talk about that. And then the fourth thing is stress. And I guess sleep and stress go hand in hand as far as derailing your results, because stress is the number one cause of all disease. So any sort of stress on our bodies, emotional stress, any sort of physical, emotional, mental, any sort of stress in our lives can have just complete ravenous effects on our bodies. So we're going to be covering those 4 things in this module 3, and just ways um, to build healthier things into your life, healthier habits into your life, so that you don't oh, I like that, Carol. Yeah, so that you guys can stay consistent forever, so that this is just a lifestyle that you, once we kind of finish up with these modules, and this group will be here, it's not going anywhere, but the information won't come out every week. I think we've got, after this week there'll be 2 more, and these, I'm just trying to help build you guys up for success moving forward. So if you guys also if you have any other questions, go ahead and post them, and I will give it a few seconds for them to come through. And I'm excited about all of our guests we have coming on with Beth and Molly, and then we had Meg last week. Meg and I are gonna record again because for some reason I had terrible audio issues. So All right, Carol, why is sleep an issue for you? Like, what types of things are you experiencing as far as sleep? Just staying asleep, falling asleep? If you want to share more on that, I can give some more tips because I protect my sleep. Don't get between me and bedtime because it's that important to me. I think I have a little bit of a phobia of lack of sleep after having Oliver and not sleeping for a year and a half. So anymore, I protect my sleep. All right, I'm gonna just give it a few more seconds to see if any other comments come through. You wake up multiple times a night. Okay, so I'll try to include some more information on that in my in module 3, or we'll talk about that next week in the live with Beth, waking up a lot. Because there's a lot of things that we can do to promote a better night's sleep, and I'll talk about those in module 3. But it all kind of starts with the routine and getting our bodies ready to sleep and what we're doing through the day. You know, getting enough fresh air is a huge one. Getting enough sunlight, getting enough light in our, for our circadian rhythm to be on track. And then what we're doing before bed, if we're watching TV or we're doing anything stimulating, the blue lights, even from like computer screens or TVs, all those can have a stimulating effect on our brains. And so our brains aren't wired to just shut down and go to sleep and stay asleep when we're constantly stimulating ourselves. So there's a lot of different things we can do to prepare ourselves to sleep well. And when you sleep well, your metabolism, it's sleep is the nutrition for your body. Sleep is very important. Okay, I think we're done here then. If you guys don't have any other questions, and you'll be getting an email from me later tonight. It's good to chat with you guys again tonight.